Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So I did a bit of work. What I pretty much did was made this nice little Cloak of Distortion. It is an item that is in Xeno's Reliquary, as you may know already. And pretty much it grants something interesting. So if you look here, there's a bit of a timer on it, as you see. And if I hold on to it, just looking, I am completely invisible. Well, I still have some items on me, but it doesn't really matter too much. Maybe if I had full camo, so to speak, it'd be a lot better. So, gonna keep my jetpack on. Another thing that is there is the fact that if I hold or press right click, I teleport instantly at the cost of an ender pearl. So I lit up the place, so a bunch of these places, because it was inhibiting the mob dropping. As you see, there are a few more. And what I'm planning on doing eventually in the world is making some teleport pads, and it'll probably make it a lot easier in the future with a bunch of teleport pads. So I got to level 30. I'm just going to steal a few more ender pearls. So we got 15. That'll be good enough. Let's go onward into our domain, see what's up, and then go with a little bee breeding. So I did a bit of bee breeding already and got to some few fun stuff. So I'm going to explain what I found out, but then I'll also explain how to get it. So I'll get to that part in a second. So as you see, I managed to find some rusty princesses and also a few other ones which I brought over here. They're not completely complete, but whatever. So I got rusty, leaden, corroded, and tarnished. And rusty is iron, leaden is lead, corroded is copper, and tarnished is silver. So I'm going to explain how I got them, and it's going to contain spoilers. So when I place down this stone block, you can unmute it. So I'll give you 5 seconds to mute yourself. Okay, so pretty much how I got these bees, spoilers, are going to happen. I got some rocky princesses here, and I bred them into stone ones by breeding them with, I believe, common ones. And I used a bunch of soul frames. So I got stone princesses here, or stone bees, as you see. And then I bred them with rocky and got some hardy. And then I bred those hardy with some stone and got resilient. Then I bred these resilient bees with some cultivated bees, and those managed to get all 4 lines after a bit of work and some other fun stuff. Got it done. You may unmute yourselves, but if you can hear me, well, that's too bad. So what I've also did is basically got some rock pollination so that I can get all of this working in some of the, underground stuff, because I don't think I want to have flowers all the time. I'm not sure if this rusty stuff is using flowers right now, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, so we got 2 pixels high on the iron tank, so we got 65 buckets of DNA. We got some fast productivity going on, and I also learned that currently in Extra Bees, the quality of the serum doesn't actually affect anything. So that's actually nice to know that I am not really affecting it at all by using this expensive bit of hardware. Thus why I could manage to get all of that going. So, as you know from previous episodes, I'm actually running out of Buildcraft energy. And also, there are 2 things that I did. Whoops, that is a little high. I cleared out at least some of this area. I'm going to completely clear out it eventually when I do some more bees work and I'm bored while bee breeding. And I also got a cleared down area downstairs right over here, and this is where we're going to put all of our tarnished, corroded, etc. bees, and we're going to try to get some sort of assembly, like mass producing assembly, using pure bees. That'll take a bit since we don't have every single pure line, though we do have most of the good pure stuff. So, boilers. We're running out of Buildcraft energy. We need more boilers. We actually just ran out of fuel and will eventually use biofuel. Currently, we have about 1,000,000 millibuckets, which happens to be 1,088 buckets. Yeah, the conversion ratio is so difficult to understand. Anyways, and I just dumb-sided myself with that. Now, currently, I believe, yeah, I just completely blindsided myself with that. So, I believe one fermenter, using the appropriate number of stills, all of that, one fermenter can actually power 1.2 high-pressure boilers. Now, currently, this is not running all the time. Our tree farm is not strong enough to be able to do that, and we also need to be able to, well, supply it with dirt, which it is currently ran out of, which is a bit of a problem. So if we can't really supply it with dirt, we can't really do anything. Dirt, unfortunately, we have to convert either through alchemy using the sand that we have. Let's check dirt, the dirt recipe. We can use gravel, or we could use sand and just convert it regularly, or we could use redstone using a tome of alkahest. Though currently we are not at the alkahest place, or we could use plant balls, or some of the dirty stuff with lots of dirty dirt. So, there's all of that, then that will solve the problem if we were to use full automation of this. Now, the reason I wouldn't want to use this is because it is kind of resource heavy. Now, what we can use instead is sugarcane. Sugar. If we check the sugarcane, we can get a sugarcane harvester, which will basically harvest sugarcane. Wow! Who would have imagined? Now, to get the sugarcane, we're going to have an area for the sugarcane and process everything. So we need a nice little area to put a bunch of sugarcane farms, and I think we'll actually layer it. And also, we'll probably want to have it feeding directly from all of our machines. Now, we're going to need to cut this up, and it doesn't seem like I have any tool that is worthy other than my diamond sword, which will take a few uses from it. So let's get the wood away. You know, I wish I could just, not manually harvest this. It would be a bit more easy. Anyways, be right back once I get these blasted trees down. So, easily enough we'll be able to make the Sugar King harvester. I don't think there's actually any sort of farm that's to plant the sugarcane, and it doesn't really matter. But as long as we know the area effect of the sugarcane, we should be able to get everything nice and situated into some sort of standard amount. Yay, teleportation at will at the cost of ender pearls. That is a bit annoying. Anyways, so looking over here at our sugarcane harvester, we're going to need to get the logger, which will require diamondite electron tubes. So we need to do a bit of thermionic fabrication. So to be able to do that, we need to grab our thermionic fabricator from the overworld, and I believe it is in one of our chests. So fancy chest over here. Over here, yay! So now that we got that, we can hook it up to our Buildcraft power line, and I don't think we're actually at any sort of redstone. I don't think we managed to find any redstone yet. And looking through all of this, we found a lot of zirconium, which isn't really useful, and a bunch of dark ashes, which I don't think we have any use currently of doing. But we have silver ingots, which we're going to have to... we can get rid of the aluminum since it's not useful, and we can just recollect it later if there is a time that we ever need it, which I doubt there is. So thermionic fabricator, we're going to need to place down quite easily over here. Just place, and it'll only take the like 2 megajoules per tick that is required, and nothing more really. So let's see, we're going to want to get some sand to put into the thermionic fabricator, and then we'll be able to make some diamonds and make some diamondite. So, yes, diamondite. We're going to make diamondite. Diamondite. So, we'll put the sand in directly since there's no real advantage to put the gold in. So, let's do that. So, speaking of gold, we're going to need to process our iron into diamonds instead of the gold because otherwise it will be a bit of a headache. So I believe the conversion ratio is 8, so just bringing it so that we have 8. This should only give 8 diamonds. And 8 diamonds, is that enough? No, we're going to need more, and thus we're going to need more of this. And, cobble. Goodbye. Goodbye, cobble. Goodbye, bye, cobble. Bye, bye, bye. So, I think this should be enough diamonds, and it will be. Either way, it'll... And do we have enough redstone for everything as well? There's only one way to find out, and that is through science! Maha! Science maha! And we don't have any redstone. Let's check the quarry, because you must have... Va, va, va. Va, 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 va. Va, 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 va. Let's check the quarry. Should have got redstone by now. And we've got nickelite, though I don't see an ounce of redstone there. Though we also have gotten... They're just unloaded chunks, I wonder. There it is. Thank you for your day of reckoning. And, I don't see any redstone at all. This should be the redstone level. We should have got a lot of redstone by now because level 17 is definitely redstone worthy. So am I just unlucky with these chunks or something? Or is there other nefarious reasons for that? I guess it doesn't really matter, really, but it still is a bit of an annoyance if we can't get any redstone to fund our entrepreneurship. So, let's make our diamond night at least, and we should have enough. Calcinator. I can taste the calcium now. So, let's make the recipe. I believe we can make it like this, and it will be like that. So, diamond and diamond. That's all the diamondite we can take for now. And we're going to need to make the logger first, and then we can make the harvester. So that requires small circuit board, which will also require redstone. So I'm going to have to find redstone somehow, or else we're not going to be able to manage to get anything whatsoever with our stuff. So redstone, no, wait, is there still some redstone in our assembly table? There probably is, so let's just zoom over there, check. Not there. Yes, 8 redstone. Is that enough? It's enough for at least one sugarcane thing, so count our blessings, we got enough to start. So that means we need to get the carpenter, which means we will need some tin and throw some of this into our machine over here. Might as well get a bit more biofuel, and I don't think it's quite at the biofuel stage yet. And we're also going to need to siphon off the fuel since I don't think it actually consumes any other quantities except half buckets. I'm gonna have to check that. And is this working at all? I doubt it. No, it's just out of energy. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. I thought that was weed. No, I am going sidetracked. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable that I'd do that. Blasphemy. Ah, yes, that's what I was doing. I'm a little scatterbrained. Let's go get our tin and copper. Tin, copper. Nice to meet you. I'm doing well, thanks. How about you? Oh, good, good, good. That's nice to know. I'm really going to go through the ender pearls like this, you know? So, here we go. We're going to need to make the sturdy machine first of all. So that will require the bronze that we have saved up right here. And we're going to need to thermionic fabricate this, and tin ingot will go like that. We'll need the tin, and we'll need the redstone. So one circuit, and also we will need some sugarcane. Yes, I have to use that. There's no other way of doing things. Okay, this should be enough sugarcane to at least start off. Then we'll get some tubing and hopefully get a better sugarcane assembly once everything's all done and said and done. That is not really good grammar, Way. You should know better. You should definitely know better. For we all know better. That didn't even make sense. So before I, implode due to self-pity, let's get this machine down and get everything else done. So let's see. So small circuit board, check. We're going to need to make the logger, which will require diamondite, and I got the logger, and that'll be sugarcane encased with glass, or is it glass encased with sugarcane? Doesn't matter, we got the sugar blah blah blah, something. A harvester. Whatever it is. Okay, be right back. Okay, so going to place these energy cells so that we can get some buffered energy. I'm not too sure how much we'll have at our disposal once we get everything done, but I think we'll be okay. So I think we're going to build like some sort of tower, but we'll have it pretty much at the same distance as these things are. So pretty much go out like so and place it once we feel like it's ready. So it should be around here. We'll bring it maybe over here, place it down, and then we're going to need to put around a ring for the sugarcane. So another thing that we're going to need is our little energy conduits, like so. So we got our energy conduits. And with our energy conduits, we're going to need a bit of sand, but we're also going to need some buckets for our water. So if we find any of our buckets, it might be a little useful. Buckets, hello buckets, how are you? You should be around here somewhere. I don't know where you are. So place these down, and I am not sure at all why I'm getting any sort of lag right now. Maybe it has something to do with its deep distrust over me. But we'll clear over the lag and then find out what the reason is. Maybe we hit bedrock or something, I don't know. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it seems like we're actually good. So I have to move this sugarcane harvester over here a bit because I looked online and apparently it's a radius, well, it's a bounding box of 21 by 21. Therefore, we put it 10 blocks plus a few from over there, and now it should be a bit better in, well, its sugarcane-ness. So, okay, I've upgraded to dirt, so that we'll be able to, well, a few reasons why I'm going to go for dirt. Let's just place it down first of all, and we're going to have a ring around. The reason I went for dirt is pretty simple. Well, one of the reasons is that it can be placed without any block underneath it. Reason number 2 is that it is very plentiful from my quarry. A little easier to get around than all the sandiness. So let's get 10 blocks from this, and this will pretty much be our box of boxiness, but we're going to want to make a bounding box around this area. I think I'm going to use my wood for this, though I don't know if I have enough wood to be able to do so. So let's get a bit of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 10, and there. So that means it'll go all the way over here. And you know what would be fun? The ability to have like a quarry, or rather an attachment to said quarry, to just be able to place all of this stuff. Kind of like a 3D printer. Yeah, 3D printer would be pretty amazing. So I'm not going to fill out the entire thing because there is currently no point. I have to get the sugarcane down first, and we're going to need to get our configuration to do so. Now, the configuration is going to be quite easy. Now, as you may or may not know, in Minecraft, sugarcane has to be next to a block of water to be able to be planted. So, let's just take our sugarcane that we have right here and place it. As you can see, we cannot do that, but as soon as we place a water bucket, we can. Now, I'm going to use the science that is behind basically planting trees and light levels to get the maximum amount of sugarcane to be placed. So if I place a water bucket here, I can place it in 4 slots over here, and obviously water needs to be able to, well, sugarcane needs to be placed here as well. So if we put a water bucket here, it'll be able to do so. So it's it is a knight's move away. So in vanilla tree farms, if you want to go for a high, not high density, yeah, it is a high density, a high surface density of trees, you want to be able to have all the torches give every single sapling light level, even when others have grown around it. So the main thing that we're going to need to do is wait for this to start growing, or we can check manually whether this is working or not. We are going to need a relay to be able to test that, but for now I think a chest will be able to suffice. Wow, that is a lot of unclaimed valuables that I should get eventually, but I'm not going to bother right now. So let's see. This you go in here. This you go in here, and you go in here too. Wahaha! And we get our nice little box. And also we can place our next little water source, which as you see, it's a knight's move away, so it should be here. Ta-da! So, let's stack our buckets and place our battery. Yes, it's a battery. And as we see, it's not outputting power, but that's because the tube is not outputting power. There we go. So as you see, there is power going. Now, what I want to test is, well, once we get our chest in the correct position, we'll be able to see if this actually works. So we'll put the chest there, and the sugarcane harvester should harvest the sugarcane when it's in the correct vicinity. So I'm going to take 2 of these and put it on top, so it should harvest the sugarcane, unless I am mistaken. There we go. Sugarcane was harvested, and it went into here. Now I want to see if it also can harvest it from way over here. If it can, that means we got the right area. There we go. So all we need to do now is, well, wait for the blasted plants to grow, or we can go on a big expedition for all of them to grow. Now, ideally, I wouldn't... grass doesn't really matter, and we can probably put lily pads over the water so that we, don't get royally screwed up every time we walk around here, because that would suck. Walking la da la 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 la, whoop. That's not good. So this is going to take a bit of time to set up. So let's see if we can actually make sugarcane through any other method. So sugarcane, we can convert paper back to sugarcane, which is not helpful in this area, and that is the only way to do stuff. And this is not growable by any sort of method like alchemy or bone meal. So this might be the only way to wait. We might have to wait. We will have to wait. So, in the meantime, I'm going to move this energy cube, and, well, eventually we're going to want to design some sort of tower and method for such a tower to work. What I'm going to do is place the cube here, see, is there any power taken? Yes, it is. So that's good. And we're also going to put it to 1. And now the science behind this is the fact that this will only output 1 megajoule per tick. And if if the redstone energy conduits are put so that it can only go inwards, then that means this is a perfect buffer. Now, if we put a relay here, we can send with tubes all the sugarcane up and down the column depending on where the stuff is going. What I'd probably want is the sugarcane to go way over there and have it working its butt off. Now, there's another problem that we are faced with. This thing is not very good in a steam boiler. Hang on. We got 8 buckets of fuel there. And we still need more. That's not good. So the problem is that we're going to have to be faced with is the fact that we need to be able to take the remaining fuel from this. And there is currently, wait, can we extract anything from the bottom? Let's get one of our liquid ducts and find that out. Because we need to extract the remaining fuel once we get to that particular point, or else we won't be able to put any of our newly acquired fuel there. So if we can, that's good. Assuming that it can actually extract it. So we'll take these down. And we're probably going to have to go through the floor like so. So, let's see this. Turn it so that it takes items out. And assuming we don't get steam. We got steam. So that's not a way to do stuff, huh? So the only solution left to get the remaining fuel out is not to actually remove the fuel, but to put fuel in. Now, there are 2 ways that can be interpreted. 1, put fuel in indefinitely, therefore we cannot use any other method. Or 2, put it in such a controlled quantity that it'll get filled, destroy the remaining liquid ducts, and thus it will only use the liquid in the tank, and since it only consumes it in half bucket intervals, that means eventually it will run out and we can use this biofuel once it's all dandy. And since it's not dandy right now, that is going to take a bit of effort. So we got 16 fertilizer. Maybe there's some method to get the fertilizer a bit better. So we need to make fuel, a bit more fuel, and the only way to get fuel is through, well, we can go bees, though I don't think bees would be a good idea, but we're going to have to go with the refinery. Refined fuel, I doubt, is what we need. So we're going to need to use the refineries. We have refineries hooked up, more or less, but we're going to need to get some oils, so pump in some oils directly to these refineries. Probably use a liquid transposer, and we don't even need much in total to refine. We're only going to need enough so that we can get like 16 buckets in total, so that means like 32 or 64 buckets of oil, which I can probably just find an oil patch and manually do by throwing it into a transposer, and then that'll be good. We also have an advanced solar panel, which we might want to take as well, but I don't think we really have any other method to do so. So, we're going to have to wait quite a bit for our sugarcane to go, and in the meantime, our little buffer of fuel is going to dwindle down until we have naught left. And that is not really funny, so I guess I'm going to have to go and refine some oil. And looking down into our quarry, if you look at all those blotches of color, what the heck? Did that stop, or is it just not loading the chunk right? Let's take a look. It wasn't loading the chunk right, so it didn't stop, and that's good. Anyways, as I was trying to say, that is a lot of lava. We managed to get some redstone, and there is even more redstone. So we haven't quite hit the bottom, and redstone must have been at a completely different level than I thought it was. So now that we are not going to be lacking in redstone, we're going to be able to actually do a bunch of other methods and designs, unless I just want to steal all this redstone. And there's Nikolite. Woohoo, Nikolite! We'll be able to get diamond dust now. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Blah, 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 blah. Let's try that again. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. I'm not even gonna bother. WayofTime here, signing off, and what the heck is happening? I pressed the comma button. Have a wonderful day.